unrealized P&L, 6.85 cents. So what does this mean? Right now we're looking at a slight dip of about $6.85 in unrealized profits. This isn't a huge swing, but it's still a bit disappointing to see that our position has dropped a smidge since entry. However, it's important to remember that crypto is volatile. You know, it's funny how these quiet moments in the market can feel like waiting for a pot of water to boil. Just sitting there, staring at the price, and all you can think is, come on, just do something already. It kind of reminds me of that old saying, a watched pot never boils. I mean, the market can be like a teenager. Sometimes it just wants to sit in its room and not do anything. And speaking of waiting, have you ever noticed how people get so anxious when things stagnate? It's like we've all been conditioned. All right, folks, let's break it down. We're currently long on the SOL-PERP, holding 7 contracts. We jumped in at an entry price of $123.57. Right now, SOL's sitting at $123.39, so we're looking at an unrealized loss of about $6.15. Not exactly what we want to see, but hey, the market can turn on a dime. Keep your eyes peeled. SOL's current price is $24.51. Let's see if we can bounce back. Stay tuned, it's a wild ride. Alright folks, let's dive into our current position on the SOL Perpetual cracked SLP20 Det 30-CDE. We're sitting long at an entry price of $123.57, and right now the current price is $123.39. That puts us at an unrealized P&L of $96.15, which isn't the best situation to be in. Thesis. Initially, we entered this trade with the thesis that SOL was poised for a rebound, likely driven by recent market movements or developments in the broader crypto ecosystem. Perhaps we saw some bullish signals, maybe some positive news around SOL's adoption or network developments that made the entry at $123.57 seem like a strategic move. Current position analysis. Now let's break down the specifics. We're holding 7 contracts, each with a contract size of 5. So our total exposure is 35 SOL. Entry price, 123. Ah, the dreaded quiet market, like waiting for a kettle to boil, right? It can be tough watching the screens and seeing little to no action. But here's the thing. Patience isn't just a virtue. It's a strategy. When markets are slow, it's like the calm before the storm. Sure, it feels like we're in a holding pattern, but this downtime gives you a chance to assess, recalibrate, and prepare for when the action does pick up. Think of it as the market's way of ensuring you're ready for the next wave. Plus, this is your moment to refine your strategies, do some, sitting here watching the markets idle can feel a bit like watching paint dry. You ever notice how when things are quiet like this, your mind starts wandering to all kinds of random things? Like, have you ever thought about how many cups of coffee we consume in a year? The average person drinks around 400 cups a year. That's a whole lot of caffeine. And speaking of caffeine, isn't it funny how you can have that one cup that just hits different? The one that makes you feel like you could conquer the world, or at least get through a long... Alright, let's break down this position in SOL-PERP. We're currently sitting on a long position with the product ID SLP20 Det 30-CDE. Here are the key points. Entry price, 123.50. Current price, 120.28. Size, 7 contracts, each with a contract size of 5.0. This puts our total exposure at 35 contracts, 7 by 5. Unrealized P&L. Currently we're showing a loss of $10. Thesis. The thesis for entering this long position was likely based on a bullish outlook for SOL, possibly driven by a combination of technical analysis, like a support level or a bullish chart pattern, fundamentals around the crypto market, or macroeconomic considerations favoring altcoins. Current status. Right now, we're seeing the current price below our entry price, the current price of $123. Alright, here we go with the P&L update. Let's dive into the numbers, shall we? Position overview. Product, SOL-PERP side long, size 7.0 contracts, contract size of 5.0, so that's 35 SOL. Entry price, $123.57. Current price, unrealized P&L. Unrealized P&L. Unrealized P&L. So let's break this down. We're currently sitting on a small loss of $10. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world either. This kind of fluctuation is part of the game. Alright, let's get straight to the point. We need to identify key support and resistance levels based on the current price of $124.51. Unfortunately, you didn't provide the 24-hour high, low, or the recent range, which are crucial for a thorough analysis, but I can still guide you on how to approach this. 1. Current price, $124.51. This is your baseline. Any movement away from this level is critical. 2. Resistance levels. Resistances are levels where selling pressure typically emerges and prevent the price from moving higher. If we had the 24-hour high, we would use that as a primary resistance level. If the price approaches or exceeds that level, watch out. This could be a signal for potential reversal or strong selling pressure. Additionally, look for any previous swing highs above. Alright folks, let's break down our current position. We're holding a long on SOL-PERP with a size of 7 contracts. We jumped in at 123.57, but right now we're sitting at 123.37. Ouch! That's an unrealized loss of about $6.85. Not exactly the thrill ride we were hoping for, right? But hey, SOL's current price is around $124.51, so there's still room for recovery. Keep your eyes peeled, because this market can flip faster than a coin. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, let's break down what our AI strategy tuner has been up to lately with the SOL trading strategy. Think of it as a smart assistant that's learning how best to trade in the current market conditions. What's happening? 1. Market overview. Right now the SOL market is pretty calm. The price has been stable at around $124.51, and there's not much trading activity happening. Just a low volume of about 12,520. This means people aren't buying or selling much, which can make it tricky to get good prices when you do decide to trade. 2. Adjusting strategies. The AI has been focused on tuning 2 primary strategies, HF scalping SOL and MACD fast SOL. Both of these strategies are considered to be on the higher risk side, which means they aim for quick profits, but can also lead to bigger losses if things go south. 3. Tuning recommendations. Ah, the calm before the storm, huh? It's like watching paint dry on a hot day. You know, sometimes these lulls can feel almost like the markets are holding their breath, waiting for something to happen. It's fascinating, really, like a cat poised to pounce, just biding its time. Funny enough, did you know that the stock market can reflect human behavior in some pretty wild ways? For instance, when people get anxious, there tends to be a lot of volatility. But here we are, sitting tight at $124.51, and it's like everybody... Alright, let's break this down. Since we have the current price at $124.51, we'll need to establish some key support and resistance levels based on typical technical analysis principles, even without the 24-hour high and low data. Key levels to watch. 1. Support levels. Near-term support. Look for recent swing lows in the price action. If $124.51 is the current price, a common approach is to consider the previous significant low. Without exact recent range data, let's assume a hypothetical support at around $122. This would be a logical level if the price dipped recently before bouncing back. Major support. If it drops below $122, the next major support might be around $120. This is a psychologically significant level that often attracts buyers. 2. Resistance levels. Listen up. Volatility in the market is a double-edged sword. Right now, with a current price of $124.51 and an undefined range, it looks like you're sitting in the middle of a storm that could either whip up opportunities or knock you down with risks, depending on how you play it. If the 24-hour range is wide, you're staring down the barrel of potential trades that could yield solid profits. But let me tell you, it also means that the market can whip around on you like a rogue wave. One moment you're riding high, and the next you're scrambling to keep your head above water. So what does this mean for your strategy? If you're a nimble trader, you could seize the moment. Short-term trades might come with juicy rewards. Crypto update alert. 1. Ethereum futures surged to $6.70. Ethereum futures trading on Binance has skyrocketed, hitting a staggering 6.74 trillion. This is nearly double last year's record, indicating strong institutional interest despite the bearish market. Why traders should care? This surge suggests that big players are positioning themselves for a recovery, potentially signaling a bullish shift in sentiment. Keep your eyes on ETH. 2. Hacker caught after $1.8 heist. A Lithuanian hacker has been extradited for stealing millions through malware. This brings a sharp focus on security within the crypto space. Why traders should care. Increased regulatory scrutiny and security measures could impact trading strategies and asset prices. Stay vigilant. 3. Ethereum price watch. Liquidation intensities for ETH are heating up at the $2,900 and $3,000 levels. Why traders should care. These levels could act as critical pivot. You know, it's funny how the markets can go from a raging bull to a complete snooze fest in the blink of an eye. I mean, we're sitting at $124.51, just kind of floating there. It's a lot like waiting for a bus that keeps getting delayed. You're not really sure if you should check your watch or just scroll through your phone for the 100th time. Have you ever noticed how the quiet moments can feel like an eternity? I swear, sometimes they feel longer than a lecture on the history of tax codes. It's like to gauge the overall market sentiment, let's consider the current scenario. 1. BTC and ETH. These two assets are often regarded as the bellwethers of the crypto market. If both are showing upward momentum, it typically indicates a bullish sentiment. Conversely, if they're down, it tends to create a negative ripple effect on altcoins like SOL. 2. Price action of SOL at $124.51. This price point needs context. Is it breaking resistance, or is it struggling to maintain its levels? If SOL has shown significant growth recently and is holding strong, that could indicate a positive sentiment. However, if it's falling or hovering at a level that suggests weakness, the mood might be more pessimistic. 3. Volume trend. High volume on price increases usually... Alright, let's break this down. Given that we don't have the 24-hour high and low or the recent range, I'll guide you through how to identify key support and resistance levels based on the current price of $124.51. 1. Support levels. Immediate support. Look for previous swing lows or psychological levels near the current price. A common support area might be around $120 to $123. If prices approach this zone, traders often look to buy, assuming it holds. Key support zone. If it breaks below the immediate support, watch for around $115 to $118, which could be where buyers step in again. This level is often significant because it aligns with historical price action and traders' mental levels. 2. Resistance levels. Immediate resistance. The first resistance level to watch might be around 126 to 127. Alright, let's dive into the trenches of the SOL market. What do we have here? A price of $124.51 that seems to have parked itself with the nonchalant swagger of a seasoned trader lounging at the bar. This price is like that cool kid in school who just doesn't care about the gossip. It's holding steady while everything else around it is swirling in a maelstrom. Now let's talk about that bid-ask spread. 0%. That's as tight as a drum, folks. It's like the market is saying, hey, I've got your back, we're in this together. But don't let that fool you. It's a deceptive calm. The still waters can hide the jagged rocks beneath, and with a 24-hour change of 0%, it's like we're in a staring contest with the market, and nobody. Alright, let's break this down and keep it real, folks. We've got one position on our plate today, the long SOL-PERP, with a size of 7 contracts at an entry price of $123.57. Right now it's sitting at $123.19, which puts us at an unrealized loss of 13/15. That's a small dent in the overall picture, but hey, every dollar counts. So our total unrealized P&L is matter $13.50. Not the best day in the market, but let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. This position could turn around. The crypto market can be unpredictable, and we might find ourselves in the green soon enough. Let's talk about the raw, unfiltered emotions that come with trading, because trust me, they can make or break your journey. Fear, greed, FOMO, they're like 3 little gremlins on your shoulder, whispering sweet nothings that can lead to your downfall, or if managed well, your success. You can know all the strategies in the world, but if you can't manage your emotions, you're setting yourself up for disaster. Fear. Honestly, fear can paralyze you, especially after a recent performance that's been rocky. If you've seen red on your dashboard for days or weeks, it's easy to let that fear creep in. You start questioning every decision, every trade, and even your ability as a trader. You might find yourself hesitating to enter a position, wondering if the market is going to tank again. It's that what if you can't shake off. What if I lose more? But here's the honest truth. Alright folks, let's break down our current trading position. We're holding a long position on SOL-PERP with 7 contracts. We got in at $123.50, and right now, the price is sitting at $124.51. That's right, we're looking at a slight unrealized loss of about $12.80. But hey, the market's been choppy, and SOL is hanging around flat, no major moves. Keep your eyes peeled because this could turn around in a heartbeat. Let's stay sharp and ready for whatever comes next. One Ethereum futures surged to $6.74. Ethereum futures trading is exploding on Binance, reaching a record $6.74 trillion. This nearly doubles last year's volume and signals strong institutional interest despite bearish market vibes. Traders, keep an eye on ETH. This could indicate a potential rebound or market shift. 2 hacker caught after stealing $1.8 million. A Lithuanian hacker who pilfered millions via malware has been extradited to South Korea. While this is a win for law enforcement, it highlights ongoing security risks in crypto. Traders, ensure your assets are secure. Don't be the next target. 3. Dogecoin eyes $1 target. Dogecoin is holding steady above 12 cents, and analysts are speculating if it can hit the magical $1 mark. With the market recovering, I can feel the tension in the air. The market sentiment today is definitely a mixed bag, but I can sense a lot of anxiety and frustration, especially among traders. 1. BTC and ETH status. Without specific price points or trends, I can't give you precise insights, but if BTC and ETH are showing volatility or struggling to hold significant support levels, that's a trigger for bearish sentiment. Traders often look to these two as market leaders, and their performance directly impacts the mood across the board. 2. SOL at 124.51. If SOL is up, that could be a positive sign, but if it's down while market leaders are also struggling, it could indicate that traders are shifting their focus to safer assets or are generally pessimistic about the market's direction. Alright, let's break down the numbers here, and believe me, I'm not sugarcoating anything. Position overview. Product, SOL-PERP long, size 7 contracts, each contract is 5 units. Entry price, $123.57. Current price, $123.29. Unrealized P&L, total $9.65. Today's realized P&L, since we haven't taken any action today. Now let's talk about it. We're down a tiny bit on this position, but it's not the end. Alright folks, let's break down what the AI strategy tuner has been up to recently, especially focusing on the trading for Solana. Here's the big picture. 1. Tuning strategies to match the market. The AI has been actively tuning several trading strategies to better align with the current market conditions. SOL is in a pretty neutral state right now, meaning the price isn't moving much. It's hovering around $124.51 with low trading volume. Essentially, there's not a lot of action happening in the market, which can make trading more challenging. 2. Adjusting for low volatility. Low volatility means that prices aren't swinging wildly, they're staying fairly stable. In this environment, aggressive trading strategies like high-frequency scalping need to be tweaked. The AI has been lowering the target profit for trades and increasing the number of trades to grab smaller price movements instead. Think of it like fishing in calm waters. You need to adjust your bait. Alright folks, let's break down our current positions. We're holding along on SOL-PERP 7 contracts at an entry of 123.57. Right now we're sitting at 123.29, so we're looking at an unrealized loss of about $9.65. Ouch. But hey, the market's steady at $124.51 with a 24-hour change of 0. It's a waiting game, but don't lose hope. Stay sharp, keep your eyes peeled, and let's see where this ride takes us. Alright, let's break down this position we have in SOL-PERP, specifically the long contract SLP20D Det 30-CDE. We entered this trade at an entry price of 123.57 and are currently sitting at 123.33. That gives us an unrealized loss of 825 FETs on a position size of 7 contracts, each with a contract size of 5 point. Thesis review. Our thesis for going long was likely based on a bullish outlook for SOL. Perhaps we were anticipating a rally due to either broader market sentiment, potential news catalysts, or technical setups that suggested upward momentum. The entry price of 123 zeniths indicated we were looking for a potential breakout or reversal in the downtrend. Position quality. Now let's assess the quality of this position. At the moment, the current price is just slightly below our entry price. This indicates that we are in a, oh boy, let me tell you, right now, the Solana market is about as thrilling as watching paint dry. At a price of $124.51, we're sitting dead in the water with a spread so tight it's practically a vice grip. A bid of 124.42 cents and an ask of 120.49. That's not just a tight spread, that's a microscopic squeeze. It's like the market is holding its breath, waiting for something, anything to happen. Zero volume over the last 24 hours. My goodness, it feels like a ghost town out there. Not a peep, not a single soul trading, and you can practically hear crickets chirping in the background. When volume flatlines like this, it's a sign that traders are either terrified or just plain disinterested. And let me tell you that, look, volatility is the name of the game. It brings both opportunities and risks, and right now, it seems we're in the thick of it. Given that your current price of $124.51 is fluctuating wildly, let's say the range is significant, you're sitting in a market that's definitely got some pulse. Volatility, when measured properly, shows how much a market price can swing over a given time period. If you're talking about a substantial 24-hour range, it implies that there's a lot of uncertainty and movement in prices. This can create opportunities for traders who are looking to capitalize on rapid price shifts. For example, if a stock or commodity is bouncing between highs and lows, savvy traders can buy low and sell high, raking in profits. However, hey there traders, welcome back to the show, and what a wild ride it's been today. If you just joined us, let's dive right into what's happening in the markets. We are staring at Solana, SOL right now, trading at $124.51. Not a bad spot, but hold your horses, there's a bit of a hiccup. The spread is sitting at 0%, which is usually a good sign. However, here's the kicker. We've seen a complete volume of 0 in the last 24 hours. That's right, folks, absolutely crickets. Now zooming in on our open positions, we've got a long position on SOL Perpetual futures. We snagged it at an entry price of $123.50, but right now it's dipped to $120.23.14. Yikes, that's an unrealized loss of about 14.9 bucks. It's like watching a soap opera. You know, it's funny how the markets can be like a soccer game sometimes. You've got all these players running around, but then there are moments where the ball just sits in the middle of the field and everyone's just standing there like, is someone going to make a move? It's a bit like watching paint dry, isn't it? But there's always something brewing beneath the surface. You ever notice how, in those quiet patches, rumors start swirling? Someone overheard something in the break room, and suddenly, social media lights up with speculation. It's, hey there folks, welcome back to the chaos of the trading floor. If you're just joining us, let's get you caught up in a hot minute. We're diving into the world of SOL, currently sitting at $124.51. But hold on to your hats because that price is a bit deceiving. We've got a tight spread of 0%, which means there's no wiggle room, and in these markets, that can be as rare as a unicorn. Now let's talk trading volume. Yikes, we've got a whopping $0 in the last 24 hours. That's right folks, we're not moving much over here, and that's something you definitely need to be watching. When the volume's crickets, it can lead to wild price swings, and you know those can get ugly fast.